Okay, we now have reached a point where we'll discuss Champions League final. And the kind of storylines we have for this year's final are epic. The kings of Europe, the mighty Real Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund, one of the most beloved underdog teams. One last glory for Toni Kroos in his club football career, or the best ending to Marco Reus' time in football. The Yellow Wall of Germany versus the White Castle of Spain. And the way this season has gone, especially the Champions League, I am expecting the final to have a worthy conclusion. So in this video we'll talk about the match, what can we expect from it, we'll try to understand whether Dortmund realistically have a chance to win the Champions League and the storylines that surrounds this match. So without any further ado, let's begin our video. Now talking about the match itself, it is the 69th season of Europe's Premier Club competition and the 32nd since it was renamed as UEFA Champions League. The final will be played in London's Wembley Stadium and Slovenia's Slavko Vincic will referee the game. He is the one who refereed the 2022 Europa League final as well. Now about the two teams, Real Madrid and Dortmund. Starting with Real Madrid, this team has dominated the whole season. They won the La Liga, the Spanish Super Cup, but they lost out on Copa del Rey because they were beaten by Atleti in the penalties. A crazy fact about Real Madrid, they just got beaten twice this season, and both times it was an away game against Atletico Madrid. In the Champions League, they have been unbeaten the whole campaign and have beaten teams like Napoli, RB Leipzig, Manchester City and Bayern Munich to reach the finals. Players like Vinny Jr. and Jude Bellingham have been their standout players this season. And Toni Kroos, that midfield maestro for last 10 years, this Champions League final will be his last game in club football. They will be missing David Alaba due to an ACL injury and Tchouaméni will be a doubt for the game. Everyone else will be at disposal for Carlo Ancelotti. So Real Madrid clearly sounds like a strong team, worthy of playing in the Champions League final. Now about Dortmund, they have had a strange year to be honest. Dortmund for years have not been close to being the top team in Germany because Bundesliga has been dominated by Bayern Munich. But last year, they came close to winning the league under current manager Edin Terzic. But they lost the league to Bayern Munich in the last match day and that too in the goal difference because they played a 2-2 draw against Mayans. And it was a big deal because they lost a chance of winning their first title in 11 years because of their own shortcomings. However, the hopes were high coming into the 23-24 campaign because of a relatively strong end to the season last year. But this year has been, let's say, a strange one from their own standards. They've played 9 draws and lost 7 matches in the league, got beaten by teams like Bayern and Leipzig by 4 goals and ended their Bundesliga campaign in 5th place. And in DFB Pokal, they lost to Stuttgart by 2 goals and got eliminated in the round of 16. In fact, there was a feeling midway through the season that Terzic could be out of the club. But their story in the Champions League has been a great one. They were placed in the group of death with Newcastle, PSG and AC Milan, where they were expected to be knocked out in the group stage itself. But they miraculously topped their group and were beaten only once, that too by PSG. And since the knockout stages, Dortmund have been one of those teams which every club wanted to face. And in the round of 16, they met PSV, where they played a 1-1 draw away and they beat them by 2 goals in their home. Then they faced Atleti in the quarterfinals and again lost the away game by 2-1 and it felt like it was done. But in their home game, they beat Atleti by 4 goals to 2. Okay, they did well till now, but will have to face PSG in the semi-finals. And no one counted on Dortmund to knock PSG out. But they scored 1 goal in both the legs and somehow managed to stop PSG from scoring. PSG in the 2 match against Dortmund had an XG of 4.94 and hit the post 6 times. Honestly, it was hard to believe that Dortmund went away with a clean sheet in that tie. Anyways, the point is, Dortmund had a miraculous run in the UCL. And like how Real Madrid looked like the team that was supposed to be in the final, Dortmund felt like a team that would have been eliminated in every stage. So is there an underdog story here? Is there any chance for Dortmund to win this game? Well, to be honest, it's never guaranteed. You cannot say that which team can win the tie, especially in the Champions League final. There have been occasions when the favorites have won it, but there also have been instances where the team that won the final was a major underdog. Like in 2005 when Liverpool won the competition, they were 5th in the league and they beat the mighty AC Milan side coming from behind in the finals. And in 2012 when Chelsea won the UCL, they were 6th in the Premier League table and faced Bayern Munich, who were the favorites to win the final. So the point is, no one can say for sure. Yes, Real Madrid are massive favorites and they don't lose finals, but at the same time, Dortmund have shown that they are capable of beating big teams. Now if we break down how both the teams play, it's not the same, but there is a similar pattern here. Like both teams don't have a fixed style and are not the most possession-oriented teams. Both teams have capabilities to attack while keeping the ball but are more comfortable hitting on the counter. Real's attack for obvious reasons is threatening with the personnel they have, but Dortmund with players like Julian Brandt, Jadon Sancho and Karim Adeyemi can be dangerous. Midfield battle will be important. Tchouaméni will be a major miss for Real and I think that they will play with Camavinga and Kroos in the pivot, with Fede and Jude close to the flanks building up the attack. While Dortmund's midfield will have Can and Sabitzer in the pivot and Brandt playing as number 10. Yes, I don't think that Marco Reus would start this game, but he may come as a substitute and can be an impact player. I can also see Daniel Malen having some minutes. but controlling Adeyemi would be most important for Real Madrid defenders. And as a Real Madrid fan, I would be concerned about the following. You see, Dortmund, when they attack, they do it with purpose. We saw it against Atletico Madrid when they put 4 goals past them. And Atleti is a team that can do some serious defending, but still couldn't stop Dortmund when they were attacking with intent. Madrid will have to restrict ball from reaching full crook, control Adeyemi's runs, and Sancho and Brandt from doing their trickery. And secondly, with Dortmund, when they want to defend, they can be suffocating. Now, I say this while keeping in mind that players like Hummels, Schlotterbeck and Emre Can are not the most quickest defenders, and any mistake by them would result in Vinny, Rodrigo and Bellingham beating them in quick counters. But we also saw how they control players like Mbappe and Dembele in the game versus PSG. They defend as a team and give no space. And we have seen Real Madrid having some troubles with the low block against mid-table La Liga teams. So breaking their defense would be tricky, but if players like Bellingham and Kroos are given time on the ball, they are capable of threading passes that can open up their defenses. And apart from that, we know that Vinny and Rodrigo can create goals out of nowhere. So if Dortmund can score first and then start defending with intent, it's gonna be hard for Real Madrid. But if Madrid can avoid that, the game would open up, and then Madrid will have a higher chance of scoring goals. Now, some storylines. Edin Terzic said that yes, Real Madrid have won 8 finals in a row, and it's time to break their streak. Now, Terzic is a Dortmund fan and is loved by the players and the fans. He had a crazy run with this team, and as discussed, he just missed out on the Bundesliga trophy last year, and the Champions League trophy can be his redemption. But Ancelotti, on the other hand, is not going to make it easy for him. He just lost to one team the whole season. He has had the best attack and the best defense in Spain. He has adapted to the playing style of different teams and have found a way to break them down. And he did all this in a season when he had 37 injuries to deal with. So yes, Terzic may want the trophy more, but Ancelotti might be the toughest opponent he had faced till now. Now, there's this underdog story going strong in Europe, with Man U beating City in the FA Cup final and Atlanta beating Leverkusen in the Europa Cup. So the neutral football fans are behind Dortmund, so they can complete the underdog story of 2024 in football. And if it were any other team, I would also have backed Dortmund to go all the way through. But with Real Madrid, we know that they become different beasts in the Champions League, and I understand that Dortmund can be crazy in the counters, but I'd still back Real Madrid to go all the way through, with Toni Kroos ending his run in club football with 6 Champions League trophies. Now, before you start hating, I am a big Marco Reus fan, but it's not like because he's retiring, he deserves a Champions League trophy. You see, he rejected a chance to play for teams like Man United, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, Barcelona and even Real Madrid because he clearly wanted to play for Dortmund, a team that he supported from his childhood, and chose loyalty over trophies. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. He would be remembered as one of the few footballers who forever stayed loyal to his club, and that for many can be bigger than any other trophy. And that, guys, would be the end of the video. Let me know your thoughts. I'd respond to every single comment, like the video and subscribe to Football Ledger. See you on the next one. Ciao.